680 business editor Richard Southern joins us now with something new about the fallout of the Sears bankruptcy. And Richard, when we learned that stores were going to be closing, your first thought was probably about employees, but there's another side, suppliers. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, a big knock-on effect for all the suppliers that sold their products to Sears Canada, Melissa. Now, they're doing something about this. Starting today, 25 former Sears Canada suppliers got together and they opened, we're seeing the ribbon cutting here, they opened their own store, a liquidation outlet at the Shops at Steele. So that's Steele's in the 404. It's called Bobby's Liquidation Outlet. They're promising deeply discounted merchandise. This is actually in a former Sears Canada location. We caught up with Tyler Bottom, the general manager of Bobby's Liquidation Outlet.
In the day of age where people, a lot of department stores are going upscale or low scale, there is that middle ground that is not covered because Sears is no longer here. So we have a lot of great products at fantastic prices, and ultimately that's what Canadian consumers are looking for, just decent or very well-made products at great prices, because saving a dollar here and there helps out every Canadian household, and that's what people are looking for.
So, Melissa, the good news here is that they're employing about a dozen former Sears Canada employees, and they say they're looking to hire more. But you got to wonder if they're going to be able to succeed where Sears Canada couldn't. Of course, we're seeing all those dollars going online, but there it is, kind of neat that they're all getting together to try and do something about their situation.
An interesting twist there for sure. And you've got another reason for us to not like gridlock tonight, is that right?
I've been watching City Commute, hashtag City Commute,
right.
So I know all the problems about gridlock. But here's another one for you. The Toronto Region Board of Trade says highway traffic congestion in the GTA costs all of us $125 a year. You see, a lot of goods are moved on GTA highways. In fact, $3 billion worth of goods trucked through the region every day, and the fact that they get slowed down and delayed costs companies money, which they in turn pass on to us consumers. The report also found a lot of growing trouble with downtown deliveries. Parking tickets get handed out regularly to couriers and to trucking companies, and the cost of those tickets too passed on to the likes of you and I. Nothing good comes of that gridlock, Melissa.
Yeah, it has to get to us somehow, all those products on the road. Well, there's a first in Canada, the very first marijuana sector hostile takeover attempt. What's going on there?
Yeah, so we're seeing a lot of companies now in the marijuana sector, and Aurora, one of the larger ones, trying to buy CanAmed, who have been big in the medical marijuana sector, and CanAmed doesn't want to be bought. So they're taking their offer right to shareholders, what they call a hostile takeover bid. Had a chance to talk to the CEO of Aurora Cannabis, and I asked him about the big valuations we're seeing in the sector. None of these companies are really turning any profits, yet they have billion-dollar valuations. Take a listen to Cam Batley.
The market for consumer cannabis in Canada is going to be enormous. We already know that there are millions of Canadians who are currently using cannabis. They're just accessing it via the illegal, unregulated market. So the challenge here, of course, is just to move people over from that illegal, unregulated market to the legal, regulated, and safer one.
Simple math is that you have annual revenues of less than $20 million, yet the market's assigning a billion-dollar valuation. This doesn't make you in the least bit nervous, Cam.
The future for the leading players in the cannabis sector in Canada is extremely bright, particularly those like Aurora that are really rapidly and aggressively expanding internationally. So I think that our valuation is entirely justified.
Melissa, it's kind of like the early days of the tech boom in the 2000s where companies, were selling for huge money even though they weren't turning a profit. There's a lot we don't know what the type of demand's going to be like for recreational marijuana and how much, companies are going to charge. But right now, investors, they're buying stock of these companies, and we saw most of them head higher on Bay Street again today.
Interesting. It's going to be an interesting few months before July 1st when everything changes.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, yesterday, Santa Claus came to town for his big parade. And Richard, today you have some numbers. We're going to spend big this Christmas.
Yeah, apparently so. Retail Me Not out with a big survey on this. The average Canadian to shell out $1,400 on the holidays, all told. So that's, not just gifts, but, the holiday parties and the dinners and so forth, Melissa.
Okay.
As far as gifts are concerned, $653 is what the average Canadian will spend. It's a healthy amount, don't you think? It's about $100 more than last year. 43% say they tend to overspend, and only 26% say they plan to take advantage of Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales, which of course are coming up here in the next couple of days.
And you got another story for us. Pasta lovers, they're a happy bunch today.
So, I haven't used this product, but apparently a lot of people have. We're talking here about Bravo pasta sauce, which was made by many years by Kraft Canada down in Leamington, the tomato capital of Canada. It was discontinued back in March for what they said was weak sales, but big online outrage about that. 10,000 people signed a petition demanding its return, and sure enough, Kraft Canada says, okay, we're going to bring it back for a limited time run starting December 10th at some Giant Tiger stores around the GTA. So a lot of people happy about their Bravo pasta sauce coming back, Melissa.
Excellent. That's what's for dinner tonight, I guess.
Now we want spaghetti. Thanks, Richard.
Absolutely. Thanks for that, Richard. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Thanks.
For now, it's over to Janelle Amasa.